Democratic Representative of California Jackie Speier spent the night at the Maple Street homeless shelter in Redwood City to try to get firsthand experience as to what life is like if you're in actual poverty, if you have a real poverty situation. Senator Chris Murphy is another guy who did this. He's a Democrat of Connecticut. He followed around a homeless person all day, of course, with permission, and he realized what they go through on a daily basis. And I think Speier's quote on this is great. She says, "Every member of Congress should be required to do what I did. It would help us appreciate who we are talking about. We rattle off numbers, but it doesn't speak about the people themselves." And you know what she learned as a result of this experience while she was at the shelter? Quote, "One woman was working at Safeway, her spouse was working at Office Max, their son was working at Jobs, and here they had to stay in the shelter to save up deposits to get an apartment." So since she went and firsthand experienced what was happening at a homeless shelter, it was like a light bulb went off in her head. It was like some sort of switch got flipped. And she went, "Oh my goodness, I listened to the story of these people. They're not parasites. They're not moochers. They're not looking for a handout. They're not lazy. They're not drug addicted. They haven't checked out of the system. They're not burnouts. They're just regular people who fell on hard times. And they work a full-time job, and they don't have a shelter to live in. They have to save up money and stay at the homeless shelter until they can get a place of their own to save up for a deposit for an apartment." So when a politician is actually put in the situation where you get to meet and talk to these people, they go, "Oh shit! We're some fucking idiots here in America, aren't we? Why are we not taking care of this problem? This seems like a pretty big issue, doesn't it?" Instead, what are we doing? What are we doing with our resources and our money? We spent $7 trillion in Iraq when all is said and done by 2053 after you add up the interest and all that. We spent untold billions, probably a couple trillion also, in Afghanistan and counting. We give out no-bid contracts to continue the imperialism of the war state. We have 900 military bases around the world in 130 different countries. We have pork barrel spending and letter marking. It used to be earmarking. Now it's underground. It's letter marking. So we spend, billions of dollars to create the Shrimp Museum in Louisiana and all these other things that are just sweetheart deals to different politicians for their constituents. We give $4 billion in subsidies to ExxonMobil. We bail out Wall Street when they crash their companies, bankrupted them, and crashed the economy really too. We give corporate welfare out left and right. So apparently we got big government all day, every day, everywhere, except for the poor and the middle class, who not only need it, they deserve it. Because guess what? Here's a common sense position for you. If you work a full-time job, you should not have to be homeless. Period. I'm not entertaining any other position on that. That's not up in the air. That's not, open to interpretation. Hey, man, what do you think about that? If somebody works full-time, should they be able to have a place of their own? Fuck that. Nah, man, you should work full-time and then not have shelter. That's what I think. Oh, well, you're a fucking moron. How about that? I mean, that's what's really going on here, man. Who's going to defend that? Who's going to defend that? I work a full-time job, but I don't make a living wage. I can't survive. Oh, well, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But I did pull myself up by my bootstraps. I'm just not getting compensated enough. I don't make enough money to put a roof over my head and put food in my stomach and take care of my kids. It's not my fault. I work full time. I'm doing my part. Society's not doing their part for me. What are we, fucking idiots over here? What's going on? I mean, how is this not the biggest issue in the country? This drives me mad when I read stuff like this. Like, here we are, it's 2014. We've done so many things. We fucking sent somebody to the moon. We made a vaccine that eradicated polio, for fuck's sake. I mean, all these different things, all these different ways we've advanced. Have you seen modern engineering? Have you seen technology? Have you seen a skyscraper, how high they could build it with the perfect structure and it can, withstand winds up to 150 miles an hour? We have computers that can connect somebody in France to somebody in Botswana, but we can't fucking figure out how, if somebody works a full-time job, they get a roof over their head. No, see, here's the dirty truth. We have figured out how to do that, but we don't want to do that because our politicians are totally corrupt and they don't give a shit about you.